What's happening? What's going on today, folks? Happy Sunday. It's Sunday, right?
Yeah. Shit, that's when we do our show Sunday, nigga. What you just had a goddamn some of this shit I got over here,
I
ain't you?
had a Sunday off, man. I lost track of days.
Oh, okay.
You know.
What up, family? We gonna let the beat build, but we gonna just start off talking. How you week been, man? Last week you had a wedding to go to, right? That's why we didn't do the show.
Yeah, man. It was nice too, man. My homeboy, him and his wife, they renewed their vows, so it was beautiful. They did it in this mansion, man. It was like an old colonial mansion. I know the slave masters were mad, boy. They were pissed. Boy, they great.
These niggas in here in suits and shit.
Boy, and it was funny because we had white folks serving us.
Wow.
So it was like mad dope. It was funny at the same time. Like it was just that shit going on, man.
So let me ask you this while we letting the beat build, because that's funny to me. I always thought when a motherfucker renew his vows, he done got caught cheating.
Man, I don't know.
I'm
man,
not saying that about your man.
Hey, maybe so. Marriage ain't perfect, but I believe even if he was and they're still together and renewing their vows after 12 years, I think that's beautiful.
I think it's beautiful, but like I always say, it's like having a wedding after you done paid all that money for the fucking wedding. Now y'all gonna renew y'all vows. Sometimes a woman get a new ring and shit and everything.
No, they kept the same ring, but I told him, I said I could think of 8,000 things we could have did instead of having a vow renewal
at a slave plantation.
Man, it was hilarious though, man. But we had a ball. We had a blast out there, man. Go ahead and grab that. And grab that, Jack. Thank you, Jack.
Well, look, we're going to get started. The topic of the day, we talking about little white lies that black people tell. And it ain't necessarily got a lie. So if you got one, you can throw it in the chat and we going to tune up on it. It may not necessarily be a lie. It could just be something that we live by that necessarily ain't the right way. I'm going to start off with one in my family. In my family say they rather let the kids smoke and drink alcohol and drink liquor with the family. And what they're basically saying is, I'd rather for you to drink it at home around me where I know you're safe and you ain't gonna wreck your car than for you to be out doing it, you know. Yeah. And I get that, but I think that's the dumbest fucking thing in the world.
And I understand that concept. I'd rather you experience it around me so that way you understand like the ramifications behind it.
Of how so like get drunk at home and fall all over the damn house or fall that way you know that drunk driving is a thing. Like look, like your mom might say, you can't even walk to the damn bathroom. Now what if you was out? I get that, but I think the people, like I had people in my family that would let us drink and smoke over their house. And then my friends had family members that wouldn't. All of the family members that wouldn't were like church upstanding people that didn't drink around kids. I felt like that's a fucking excuse to get high. Because my mama used to drink and smoke with us. So I feel like that's somewhat of an excuse.
But you hide shit from your kids or whatever, right? Some of my friends who had family members like their parents smoke and drink, but they didn't do it around them or whatever. They fucking alcoholics now.
Yeah, that's it. See, and that's the thing. You can never go back in time and do an experiment like if this motherfucker wouldn't have did this or this life wouldn't have went this way. But I just feel like I said, every situation where it was somebody that I could smoke at their house and drink at their house, it was a single mother, not harping on single mothers, but it was a single mother and she smoked and drank with us. Like I can remember my homeboy's mom would get a hotel room for us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Do shit like that. You know, your mom wouldn't have got no hotel.
I ain't going that far as getting a hotel, but the first time you ever got drunk, who did you get drunk around?
My mom and them, my family.
All right. So think about this, right? If the first time you ever got drunk, you went around your mom and your family, you was around your homeboys. Do you think they would have had you do some stupid shit?
Probably.
Why?
Because that's how we, as kids, that's just what we do.
Dumb shit. Yeah, because we don't understand like the effects of alcohol.
Yeah, I'll never forget when you're young. When I was in college, one of my homeboys had came over to see me, and we had went to UNC Chapel Hill and ate some shrooms.
Yeah.
So I drove back to the dorm because he was saying he didn't want to drive because that was his first time doing shrooms. So when we get back to the dorm, this girl I knew wanted to come. She wanted to fuck. And I didn't tell my man, well, man, I'm a goddamn fuck, you know. And literally like, you good? And he like, man, this is my first time doing shrooms. And I'm just a young 18-year-old boy like, oh, you gonna be good. You know, and he left, drove home, didn't nothing happen.
Yeah.
But just I kind of get what you're saying about your first time and this, that, and the other. But say, for example, my uncles, they were drank wine. I don't want to call them winos, but you know, two of them were winos. And they would say this type of shit like, wow, nephew, you need me to get you some out the liquor store? And we were like, yeah. And they were like, get me a wine or get me a bottle too. And it's like, these men are not doing this shit because they want me to do it around them. These men are using us kids to score. Yeah. And there were times where my mom would be like, y'all, which one of y'all got some weed? And my friends be like, oh, I got some. And you know, we could always go over their house, or I could go over my other homeboy house, and we could always smoke and drink over their house.
But they already knew y'all was smoking because she already asked them which one y'all got some weed.
Exactly.
But you know, like when I graduated high school, I joined the military.
Yeah.
So we had a party at my house in the backyard. My parents, they bought a damn shit ton of beer, liquor.
When you graduated from high school, now that don't seem like you having a mom and dad. I never heard you say that. Don't seem like some of your parents
my mom said if he's old enough to join the military and fight for his country, he's old enough to drink.
That makes sense.
So my parents believed in that strongly. Yeah. You know, and that's a segue into the next subject of myths like that we tell our kids. The military ain't no place for a black man.
You remember I told you a story about Boys in the Hood, and I wanted to go to the Air Force, so I heard that. And before that, kind of all my uncles would kind of like, they didn't brag, but they kind of like said, I got my start in life. Like, boy, I got my first car being in the military. But you know, they went to Vietnam and whatnot also. Yeah. But most of the men that were upstanding good men that had a car, had a good job, had a brick house, was former military niggas, you know what I'm saying? Like growing up, there rarely was a man's man that I met in my community that wasn't former military. Like that's just how it was. And I wanted to go to the Air Force. So I can dig that. I can dig that.
Yeah. Hold on one second. Hey, y'all, if y'all in here, share this, you know, let's share this because there's other people out there that probably want to hear this. Share it on your Facebook and you know what I'm saying? So other people can join. But yeah, so it was like when I decided to join, my stepdad was like, boy, military ain't no place for a black man. He talked that talk or whatever, right?
He was Muslim, right?
Yeah. But that didn't have anything to do with it.
You, but I know Muslims say shit like that.
But here's the deal. It was a Muslim, Salahuddin, who told me, because he was in the Navy. Yeah. He said, look, you can listen to them talk about that, but let me ask you this. When you graduate, where is there a place for the black man in this country?
And that's some real strong shit right there. It's because when you really think about it, we have no place other than where we choose to tolerate. Right. You know what I'm saying? It's like going to college or going to the military. It's funny how we say certain shit and those myths upset me because we got one country. We got one government. We got one system, family. And that shit not going to change.
Nah, it's not changing.
You'll be better off trying to figure out a way to make some capital in capitalism. Like people be like, I hear niggas, man, capitalist society, capitalism. I'm like, but that's what we got. What you want us to be, a communist motherfucker? We're not communists. We're capitalists. That's what runs our society. And each person has the opportunity to make some money. I can go out and make some Kool-Aid tomorrow. If that shit good enough, I can bottle it up and become rich from making Kool-Aid.
The nature of humans is capitalism.
Of course.
Because at first you had people that was trying to get land. And if there wasn't enough land, they would move. Yeah. They would go somewhere else. They would migrate somewhere else and try to gather land in those areas or whatever, right? Yeah. Then someone came up with this system and said, hey, you know, if we work together collectively, we can have a lot more and do a lot less. Mm-hmm. Because if we look at, I think I said this a while back, our grandparents that had farms and stuff, they work 7 days a week. Yeah. They work 12, 14, 15 hours a day. Yeah. So when did they have time to actually enjoy the fruit of their labor? When they got about 60 or 70 years old?
Yeah.
Like even now, when you look at those old men riding around, they got their first Mercedes at 70 years old.
Yeah.
Because they've been working and busting their ass all their life.
But like you say, enjoying the fruits of your labor. It's funny that you say that because I was talking about this today. My uncles, we grew up on a farm. So we had cows, pigs, chicken, goats, fucking everything grew. My grandma used to can vegetables, and my grandma also sold veggies like corn. You can get a bushel of corn for this much, bushel of peas.
I bet she had the best corn on the block, boy.
Oh,
Goddamn,
man.
she was capitalizing off that shit.
Cabbage killing the game. But the point I'm making is, like you were saying about the fruits of their labor. If we get up at 4 a.m, rooster crow about 4:30. By the time we go get the eggs, fucking feed the animals, by about 6:30, grandma got a good ass breakfast cooked for us. That's really the fruits of our labor, everything off the land. Now by 10 o'clock, we done working. My uncles would go get fucked up the rest of the day. And I always looked at them like, man, y'all ain't got no job. What's wrong? Because we was in school and they was talking about job first and work first and AmeriCorps. And it just was so, I just didn't understand how good they had it.
And now you see why they had big families too, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Because they didn't have to work as much. You got 2 or 3 kids, you working sun up to sundown.
Man, people think I'm lying when I say this. I grew up in a house with my great-grandparents, my grandma, my mother, her sisters, 4 generations in one house, 12-bedroom house. So it's a situation where I'm so happy I got to see the last little bit of it, but I didn't appreciate it as a kid. I looked at it as like, man, these niggas is winos. These niggas alcoholics. I'm going to college.
Yeah.
So you were speaking earlier, since I'm mentioning college. Break down what you had said about when they said college ain't for everybody.
Yeah, I hear people say it all the time. Like, like I hear people complain about their job and they're working like 9 to 5 and it's a non-skilled job and they're complaining about it. We don't make enough. We don't pay it. We don't get paid enough, right? Well, go back and get an education. Well, school ain't for everybody. Well, in all honesty, that's a lie. School actually is for everybody.
Some type of school. It could be a trade school.
Whether it's a trade school or whatever.
So why you think people don't look at community college and trades like 4-year college? They literally, it's almost like, oh, you went to a community college or you got a trade. What you think the stigma is on that? Because we know in real life, plumbers and electricians and carpenters and mechanics, we see these motherfuckers charge us $300 to put in a fucking alternator, and he did that shit in fucking
I got 4 letters.
Minutes.
I got 4 letters. LAZY.
Lazy.
Who the fuck wants to crawl under somebody's house? Who the hell wants to chase somebody's turd out the toilet? Who the hell wants to be under somebody's car getting oil under, right? But the crazy part is this. I had a plumber come out to my house.
Yeah.
To unclog my toilet. It took him 30 minutes. You know how much he charged me?
What?
$275 motherfucking dollars.
And won't no way you can get that shit out.
I couldn't even get it out.
To pay the
I had to pay the motherfucker because I didn't have the tools to get it out. $275 for 20 minutes worth of work.
I'm more of the fashion of community college is for everybody.
It is.
My thing is this, how I look at it. So many people I know went to college and got a 4-year bachelor's or BA in science or arts, and they don't do nothing affiliated with their
degree.
And $75,000, $80,000, $100,000. So it's like a situation where I'm different, and I've been to college and I got a master's degree. I feel like that college shit duped the 4-year college. I feel like that duped black people.
Well, and that's another myth. It's not that the 4-year dupe black people.
I don't mean it like that.
No, I know what you mean.
Because nobody duped it. What I'm saying is, in my high school, there came a time when we hit the 7th grade. They had a course, a track called college preparatory track. So they actually was like, college prep, or you're gonna be on the vocational track. So my high school back in the day, we literally had auto mechanics, carpentry, brick masonry, Future Farmers of America. So it was like they stratified us. Like
Let me ask you something.
Look, let me say this. We used to even joke and laugh. Like the people on the college prep track,
Yeah.
we was on a different side of the school. The vocational hall was the back hall. They used to be back there smoking cigarettes. You know, those teachers had been to, we didn't realize the teachers that taught those classes had been to college, but they could just do that trade. So we looking at them like Mr. Jones back there teaching Mick Brick Mason, they smoking cigarettes and shit. And we thinking them niggas ain't been to college, but they been to college.
Hey, you know what's so crazy though? All those things that you said, auto mechanics, farming, future farmers of America, all those fields, right?
Yeah.
What field are they in?
All those fields.
What field are they in? Arts or science?
Science, yeah.
Those are science fields, right?
Exactly.
Which degree pays the most?
Science gonna pay the most because that means you know how to do something.
They know you know how to do something.
A degree in the arts mean you know how to think.
You know how to think a little bit.
Yeah.
But you gotta know how to think in order to be in the science community.
Yeah.
You gotta think harder in the science community than you do, because like in the arts, what I realized.
Yeah, that's what I said. It's just like, oh, philosophy. I'm thinking.
Yeah,
I ain't gotta prove that I can build no shit. I ain't gotta produce something when I'm done. It's basically just shit talking. It's like it translates more into human services.
Right. Now, which one is the easiest degree?
Arts, I think.
Arts is the easiest degree, right? So LAZY. I don't want to be sitting in my dorm room in college for 4 years studying on the weekends for a calculus exam, for a physics exam, for a biology exam, a chemistry exam. I want to enjoy my college experience.
Fun. So let me ask you this. All right. So say, for example, when they push college on us so hard, as I got older, I realized that blacks were going to colleges for liberal arts. Black were going to colleges, and especially black women more than anything. But I went into education. Social work, education, political science, really jobs where I've said this before, glorified mammy jobs.
Because we want to save the world.
Yeah. I don't think we want to save the world. I just think it's easier. I think blacks think it's easier to work with people, human service jobs.
That's what I'm saying. We want to save the world. Yeah. Think about this.
I think it's just easier. Like you said, that math and science shit stump us a lot.
That too, but
you know what I'm saying?
Think about this, right? Who were our influences growing up?
Cops, firemen, nurses.
In the black community.
Oh, and our mamas and grandmas.
And then not just that, but when we talk about like people of contemporary, like educators and stuff like that, it was like the teachers or like Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., James Baldwin, all these philosophers, Langston Hughes, all these guys were liberal arts majors.
Yeah.
These were writers.
Yeah.
So, of course, they were the civil rights activists and the leaders of the civil rights movement. We want to change the world. So you need to have a liberal arts communications degree.
Yeah, that's what I said. Being able to communicate and talk in the social field. But my thing is, I just feel like.
How many people did you know growing up graduated college?
That I knew.
Black people that you knew.
Growing up, only my teachers. Only the teachers I had in school.
All
you know
right.
what I'm saying? I ain't not nobody in my neighborhood or nobody that I knew other than teachers. Yeah.
So in my neighborhood, I didn't know any black men that graduated college. And then when I did meet the black men and women that graduated college, they had degrees in social sciences, not social science, but like criminal justice and stuff right? Bachelor in arts degree.
Yeah.
So when I'm like, it's time for me to go to school and get a degree. Oh yeah, criminal justice, sociology.
That's what you went to school for?
Originally, what I went to school for was early childhood development, child psychology, and sociology. But it was in the arts field. It wasn't in the science field. But then I ended up seeing that I could get jobs without that degree.
I want to caveat to a new discussion because your son came over here today, and I had this epiphany. I realized looking at your son and his swagger, I call you weirdo.
Yeah.
Looking at your son and his swagger, I realized when I was growing up, every kid that had a dad was just a regular kid.
Yeah.
Only the single mother kids, we wanted to be tough. We were into fighting and shit. Like it seemed like we had something to prove. I want to talk about that. It's like when I really think about it, every kid that I knew growing up, because we only had one middle school and one high school. So everybody knew everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody that I would got to thinking about that I would have said, he's a lame, he's a cornball, had a father. Is there something when a kid have a father, he don't have something to prove to the world?
Yeah.
Because it's almost it. But I want to ask, do you think it's almost like I got a daddy that'll fuck me up, so I ain't even gonna try to prove to the world that I'm tough or still? Or I just know when I was growing up, we put a lot of emphasis on being able to fight good.
Who were the roughest boys in the neighborhood?
The niggas with no daddies.
No, they wouldn't.
Who were?
The roughest boys in the neighborhood were the niggas with daddies.
But I mean, listen.
No, listen. I know what you're saying.
But they didn't fight. They weren't violent. They weren't aggressive and shit.
Listen to what I'm saying. The roughest boys in the neighborhood were the boys that had a daddy because their daddies had them in the backyard boxing, playing football and everything at an early age, or just being tough, or in some type of martial arts or something, right? So they were the toughest boys in the hood. Now y'all already knew that because y'all seen them growing up.
Well, and see, this is where
I'm getting ready to caveat into this.
Okay, because I disagree with you right
You
there.
can disagree with me, but those were the toughest boys. So y'all had something to prove. We didn't have anything to prove. Y'all mamas were trying to raise y'all to be good little boys.
Now, this is where I disagree with you. Where I agree with you, because I just said, is it because you don't have something to prove?
Right.
So, say for example, my friends that I grew up that had fathers, Chester Silver, Donald Moody, Orlando Jones, those guys were athletes.
Right.
And hold on, let me finish. They were my best friends, and nobody knew not to fuck with them. But they never got in trouble or got into fights or tried to exemplify toughness.
Because you just said that nobody knew not to fuck with them. Listen, why did you know not to fuck with them?
Because they were athletes. You just figured they could fight. They were top athletes.
Again, they were the roughest boys in the school. You don't fuck with the
well, when I say rough, we're looking at the word rough different. Because when I say rough, we talking about the niggas that's fighting all the time on the slap box.
What I'm saying is this.
You might mean the strongest guys, the toughest guys.
When I'm saying the roughest kids, right? So we used to play toss-up tackle and everything, right?
Yeah.
But we hit that little boy that ain't got no daddy, that little mama's boy, he walking off crying.
You remember Deion Sanders said he like quarterbacks come from these type of homes?
Yep.
Who did he say? I played DN,
right? And
I'm a single. We some angry motherfuckers,
exactly. Because
so those single parent boys. The point that I'm making is, I can see how you say, for example, and even as a grown man, all the guys that I knew that grew up with a father have a chill demeanor.
Right.
They don't have a aggressive, like, say, for example, me. I'm one of the chillest guys in the world. But when I was younger, if somebody said something to me, I just wanted to fight.
How old were you when you started feeling like that?
When I got chill or wanted to fight?
You wanted to fight. How old were you? What age range?
Ever since I was a little boy. Because
that's age though. What age range?
Kindergarten, ready to fight.
Kindergarten, ready to fight. Okay, so
and not only was I ready to fight, it was encouraged. And it was almost like if when I was a kid, if I meet a person, let's wrestle, let's box.
Right.
Instantly, I want to see, but my friends that had fathers who were just as good as me in sports and stuff, they didn't go around saying, let's wrestle, let's slap box, let's fight.
Right. That's what I'm trying to explain to you, right? It started when you was like in kindergarten, right? Because you started coming up against them boys that had daddies and they were beating your ass. No, I don't mean necessarily beating your ass like beating your ass physically, but as far as like with sports and shit like that, they were better than you.
No.
So you saying that they weren't better than you?
No, listen.
No, I'm asking you, were they better than you in sports?
No, I'm one of the top athletes that ever come out of my
kindergarten.
Hometown. Yeah, in kindergarten, I got 2 older brothers. I'm not trying to make it about me. Like,
No, what
I
I'm saying
get your
is this.
point.
My point is
We're
this.
actually saying the same thing.
Yeah.
I'm saying this. My friends that had fathers were top elite athletes.
Right. So they were,
but they
better.
didn't go around
Right.
picking fights, doing tough shit, trying to prove they tough.
Right. But at the point where
Yeah.
you know that they are top athletes, right? You got a chip on your shoulder because they're better than you. Not saying you personally,
Yeah.
but they are better than those other little boys who ain't have a daddy because they started out early. So you got a chip on your shoulder because they're better. Who likes somebody that's better than them? You want to be better than them.
I always thought I was better in sports, but I can admit that I thought they were better than me because they had a daddy.
Right. So that's
yeah,
what I'm
I
saying.
wanted
so
to be.
So what I'm
I
saying
used to
is,
want to hang out over their house. All my
so-
friends that had daddies,
So that's your chip.
I
So
wanted
there's
to
your
be
chip.
at their house
So there's
around
your
their
chip.
daddy.
There's
Yeah.
your chip right there. That's your anger. That's how come when you get on that defensive line and you sitting there or that offensive line and you getting ready to go against their opponent, you thinking about, I ain't got no motherfucking daddy. He ain't here. Ain't nobody in the motherfucking crowd looking at me, cheering me on and shit. All that pent up anger and aggression is going to make you mean.
But let's talk about this. Let's caveat. Keep the situation here because we're kind of saying the same thing.
Yeah.
But do you not think that has something to do with a boy know he going to be disciplined and taught certain discipline? So say, for example, a kid with a dad, his dad might have put him in karate, and he knew how to defend himself, but he knew he was going to get fucked up by his daddy if he went out here picking fights.
Not just that. And we can bring my son that he'll tell you, like, it's about what we teach him. Because I tell my son, look, you know this karate stuff, but you ain't got it's to defend yourself.
Yeah.
You don't pick on somebody because they ain't got something you got. You're a very fortunate kid. You have your mother and your father in your life. You have the things that most kids don't. So don't look down on the kid because they don't have this. A lot of kids that might be angry or want to fight you, they hate themselves or they hate their situations and they're jealous of you sometimes.
I know when I was a kid, my uncles was into martial arts, right? And they would teach us. And I wanted to fight somebody to see how good it worked. And I never forget, it was this guy, he would always be talking shit. My uncle had been training me about a month, and which drunk master training me too. And I wanted to see how this shit worked so bad. And I tried that martial arts and got the shit beat out of me. I said, I should have fought this nigga the regular way.
Yeah.
It's just funny how certain things that I realize no matter how much I look at it, my friends with fathers were more composed. They didn't chase bitches like the boys that didn't have daddies chase bitches. They didn't get in trouble at school. They didn't brag. I was a bragger. It's almost like no matter how you look at it, you called it a chip on my shoulder. I never looked at it like that.
Yeah.
But it's a deficiency you feel as a male, not having a father.
I just say a chip. It could be whatever you want to call
it. That's what I say.
Yeah.
Now think about this. I used to always say I was fucking with a chip on my shoulder. I always use that for that.
Yeah.
But I never looked at it like you said. I think it's a deficiency, and it makes you a show off. Like I'm sitting here like, okay.
What else you gonna show off?
Me and my boy CJ, he had a mom and daddy, right? I used to always want to be over his house because they ate around the table like the Cosby Show. Pass the peas, pass the butter, and so we would get off school and go straight to his house to eat.
Yeah.
But then we would go to my house to smoke and drink. He would want to spend the night at my house because we could smoke and drink all night. But I want to spend the night at his house because when he had to spend the night at my house, we had to sleep on the floor. But when I spent the night on his house,
I got to sleep in the bed.
I got an extra bedroom that I could sleep in at his house. So I always wanted. So there was this dynamic of him always wanting to be at my house, and I always wanted to be in his house. But we were just as equally popular for football and basketball. He played quarterback and safety. I played defensive end and tight end. So he was throwing me the ball.
Play what?
Quarterback and safety.
Deion's positions.
Yeah. Quarterback and safety. I played tight end and defensive end. He played point guard, and I played small forward.
Why do you think he was a good point guard?
He had a daddy, and that's why he was able to play quarterback.
Leadership
That's what I'm saying.
skills, right? Because look at Kyrie. You look at Kyrie, Chris Paul,
Yeah.
some of the great point guards in the NBA.
Yeah.
And then you look at the ones that the point guards that ain't got no day. Kind of selfish. Look at AI.
Yeah. So, and see, that's the thing I'm talking about. But I could just always remember me and him were best friends, and my initials JC. They called me JC. His initials was CJ. So it was kind of like, if somebody said, "Where JC?" It's they asking CJ. If you saw him, you saw me.
Yeah.
If we wasn't together, it was odd.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because he had a car early. He got a car at 16.
Yep, same thing here.
So he took me home from football practice and basketball practice. But I just always remember people saying or thinking he was soft.
Yeah.
Because our personalities were so different, but we were best friends. And I'm knowing that this nigga not soft.
Yeah.
I didn't box this niggas, wrestle this nigga because I'm testing. But because he had a father, he just wasn't trying to show off or prove himself to nobody. And I can remember we would both get our names called on the intercom. He was the quarterback. I'm scoring a touchdown. I'm getting a sack. He getting an interception. He passing me the alley-oop. I'm getting a dunk. I just remember we was just neck and neck, and he get out this trophy, and I get this trophy, and he would just get his trophies and kind of
it's like it's cool.
Yeah, and I would be like, yeah, motherfuckers, trophies, motherfuckers. I got pictures. Look at this, and he would get 4 trophies. I get 4 trophies, and I'm showing off, and he just kind of like, I got my trophies.
Because it's right here what Chris Mayfield said: fathers provide parameters to their sons that fatherless boys don't experience.
Exactly.
Like you don't get the it's nothing really to show. You ain't did shit. You got a fucking trophy. You know how many people got a fucking trophy in their house?
Yeah.
You know how many people that won an award?
But you know what? That's what I'm saying when it goes back to the single mother and seeing her getting dressed and want to be pretty. And if she get a trophy, well, I ain't never seen my mom get a trophy, but you get the point. So it's almost like a pageantry thing. I just remember them being more level-headed and cool-headed. I was the nigga that's like, I got trophies, motherfucker. I got athlete of the year. What's up? Who want to fight? Not walk around saying who want to fight, but if somebody said something. I just remember all of my homies with daddies won't scatter me.
Yeah.
It won't know. It's just that what we perceive soft or regular cornball was just being a regular fucking man, like a regular man is. It's so many regular men that get up, work they 40 hours a week, take care of their family, and go to the 2-3 vacations a year and do the right thing. And they go so unnoticed.
But the thing is, because
let me say this, and we looking for and praising the motherfucker that's saying, look at me, I got money.
You know why? Because the majority of people are coming from fatherless homes.
And the empty wagon makes the most noise. So it's like, it's so many motherfuckers coming from fatherless homes, demonstrating the traits of being raised by a single mother, that seemed like that's the actual,
what they brag about,
the standard.
And that's what they brag about because what else they have to brag about? Look, I came from a single mama home. My mom was a single mother. And you know what's so crazy about their mom being a single mother? All their life, they grew up here and their mama said, I'm strong. I don't need nobody. I can do it by myself. Basically putting in your head that black women are strong and don't need your funky ass.
And that's why a lot of black men, I truly believe, when that baby come, they said, fucking Uncle Sam might help. She'll do it, but on her goddamn own. And they bounce.
And it goes back to this
But look, let me see this. Nobody, say for example, it just hit me. A nigga that don't take care of his kids, nobody's going to look at themselves and say, you know what, I'm going to fuck up because I didn't have a father. They're going to say, well, I ain't have a daddy and I'm okay. So if the bitch
she don't need me.
Exactly.
My mama didn't need one.
Exactly. But they're not, and their own mind won't let them say, well, shit, my mama didn't need my sis. She ain't need my daddy. I'm a fuck up.
Which is another myth that we tell ourselves. And like Michelle Atkins said about men with fathers, their mentality is stronger.
Yeah.
Because that's what we're put into our heads that You know, you stand on your own too. You be a man. You don't go out here. You don't fuck off. You don't got to jump on nobody. You ain't got to beat nobody to prove nothing to nobody. I have nothing to prove to you but to myself.
Yeah.
When I look in the mirror, that's my only you made a song about it. My only competition. You learned that shit as you got older. You realize that I've been competing with all these motherfuckers for what?
Yeah. I remember my sons, my stepsons. I always say sons, so I won't even say stepsons.
Hey y'all, hit that like button. Hit that like button. You know what I'm saying? It's the algorithm here. You hit that like button, it starts to broadcast it to other people. Share this.
I remember there was a single mother in the neighborhood, and her son befriended my son. So he would be over here all the time for like 7 days straight. He would come over here. He was a fat motherfucker too. When he come over here after school, this motherfucker have a book bag full of snacks. He would have so many snacks that my sons would eat his snacks, and me and my wife would eat his snacks. But I ain't gonna say his name. I would be like, "Hey, what kind of snacks you got?" And he would be so proud and pull them out, and he would leave snacks over here. So after about a week, I said, "Man, where your mom and daddy at?" He said, "My mom lived in da-da-da." So I took him home and I talked to his mom. She was fine as shit. And it was like,
just had to throw that in there.
I had to throw that in. I was going to say I fucked her, but I didn't need to throw that in there. You made me throw it in there.
I didn't make you do shit. Don't blame me.
When you paused me.
Don't blame me.
Hey, look,
don't blame me, Cameron.
Hey, look, this is how we going to play the pause game. Like, Cameron, if we had to mention fucking something, we gonna say pause. We ain't gonna say it for no gay shit. It was like, his mom was fine and shit. I fucked her. Pause. But yeah. So long story short, I fucked her. Pause. But this is the thing. I would just watch how they interact. And I told my sons, I said, that boy going to jail for long. And they would be like, how you know he going to jail? God damn it. Because I could just see how he was raised. Now, I remember when I said, when I first met my wife, she would take her sons to school and drop them off. Yeah. I said, no, we going to teach them how to get up in the morning on their own. They're going to ride the school bus. I think that's an integral part of life. Yeah. Socialization, development, getting on the school bus, being nervous like Forrest Gump. This seat's tight, you know what I'm saying? Figuring out where you're going to sit, and you learn, don't go to the back of the bus where the tough kids at, single mothers back there fighting and shit, sit, blah, blah, blah. So I wanted them on the school bus. Well, my wife was so afraid because it was dark. I'm like, look, the stop sign, they 4 houses down. It's the fucking stop sign, stoplight. Long story short, this woman would fucking sit in the car with her son all the way up through school. She would take him to the bus stop, sit in the car, and wait on the bus to come. So I got my sons out thinking they going up the street and getting on the bus. Meanwhile, she's sitting up there.
Yeah.
So she didn't start bringing them snacks and shit to the fucking bus stop.
Yeah.
So I happened to go jogging one morning, and I'm jogging, and I see her. I'm like, hey, and I look in the car. I'm like, what the fuck y'all doing in the car? They didn't stop. Instead of going to the bus stop, they stop this way. They walking a big ass loop just to go sit in a warm car with her, you know what I'm saying, or the AC, and eat snacks. And it's just so funny. The point that I'm making is, I can see what you mean by the composure that I put in them and the things that I wanted to make sure that they experienced and went through so they could be men.
Right.
And she was secretly undoing this shit where they going to sit in her fucking car. And I'm like, how long?
Because
they've been doing that shit damn near 3 months.
Don't kill me on this, women, but basically this is what happens, right? Women don't realize, or sometimes they forget, that these young boys, they gotta go out in this world. And when they get out into the world look at them and say, you got a penis? We don't give a fuck about you.
Nobody cares about a straight black man. Yeah. If you fucking niggas in the ass, oh, you get anything you want.
But pause. we gonna get to that in a minute, but they forget. They tend to forget. It's just like this, right? So when my son was like 7 or 8, was at McDonald's.
Yeah.
And we went to. He was like, "I got his bathroom, Dad." And this is before I let him start going to the bathroom by himself. So we go in the bathroom. It's another little boy in there. His pants down at the fucking ground. He using the urinal, pissing with his ass out. Now,
I don't know why that's so funny, because when you go in the bathroom,
because you think about Kevin and Hobbies and he pissing on that New York
see a
Giants
little boy
helmet.
with his whole ass out. Yeah, and they got it on the. That's the little thing they have on the car. Yeah, on the back of the car. Ass out. Pissing.
In my mind, I already know this little boy ain't got no daddy in this house. Ain't no man in that house, right? So I say to my son, I said, you remember how I do it, right? He was like, yeah, Dad. I said, how you do it? He said, I just unzip it and I pull out and I go. I said, you don't pull your pants all the way down now, do you? He said, no, Dad, I don't pull them all the way down. Because you know, his mom, she potty trained him.
Still funny to me.
Because his mom potty trained him, and the first time he started using the bathroom on his own, he pulled his pants down. I said, hey boy, pull your pants up on your ass. So he kept on doing this. So one day I took a towel, I spun that motherfucker up. This is one of the 2 times I ever put my, spank my child. I rolled that motherfucking towel up, spanked him on his ass.
Oh, he did it again after you told him not to.
I done told him about 2 times. 3rd time you getting it.
Yeah.
So I spanked him on the ass. That was the last time he ever did it. So yeah, Dad. So then the little boy, he seeing my son, he said, is that how we do it? I said, yeah, man, you put your pants up on your butt. You don't hang your, whatever, right? So he leaves out of the bathroom. I come out. This woman walking up to me, excuse me, sir, did you just come out of the bathroom? I said, yes, ma'am. She was like, thank you so much.
My son told me you taught him how to piss.
I said, what you mean? She's like, well, my little boy was telling me that, he was in the bathroom and he learned how little boy is supposed to use the bathroom. He was telling your son how to. And I said, yeah, man. I said, he was in there. He had his pants pulled down. And I said, women tend to forget that when they're potty trained. I said, because my son's mother did the same thing.
That's funny. I got a story. My boy, this was something my boy Artie told me. It's not funny, but it's just real. His father died when he was young. And when his mother got a new boyfriend, he was like a new husband. He was like, naturally, he like, shit, I'm closer to my mom, my dad gone, and here come this new motherfucker. So he was like, his mama taught him how to pee sitting on the stool.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, when his stepfather seen him pee sitting on the stool, he kind of fussed at him and was telling him, showing him how little boys pee. And he was like, he was mad because he was like, shit, he want to piss like mama. You know what I'm saying? So he was saying how, he probably from like 4 years old to like 10, 11 years old, he literally despised his stepfather because his stepfather was making him do shit like a man do. You know what I'm saying? But now him and his stepdad real cool. But that was just funny. Like, that's funny. I never thought about it. That's the little poster with the little white boy pissing with his ass.
Kevin and Hobbies. If you ever go to an elementary school and walk into a bathroom, I seen it. I seen it when my son was in elementary school. Little boys, when like sometimes they have parents volunteering shit to be like the monitors and shit. Little boys go in there and pull their pants out, and I be thinking to myself, like, these women ain't realizing these kids are gonna go into a public restroom by themselves. I seen grown ass men with their pants.
Now I think you capping.
Mike. Dead ass, bro. I'll show you on social media. Motherfucker took a picture of motherfucking.
Say ain't nobody never tell him the whole way growing up.
Yeah, he ain't never learned that shit. If you can't be something you've never seen.
So let's caveat into another thing.
So caveating in there, because you made a comment, we talk about another myth, the gay agenda.
I don't think it's a gay agenda.
I don't think it is, because niggas been here doing that shit.
If you look at history, man, gays have always kind of been eclectic, had their little thing going, doing like they do, but they used to be more like it's almost like snorting cocaine was a high class drug. It used to, being gay was a high class.
Yeah.
You had to be a special motherfucker to be gay. It was
to be accepted.
Yeah, as gay was almost considered intelligent. Oh, he's gay. Now I think motherfuckers play gay so much that the standard for gay has gone down. And no, seriously.
There's a standard. Listen, people, there's a
think
standard
about this.
For me.
I taught high school people. I know there were 2 ways for instant popularity that you don't have to do nothing. Act like you tough, do the crip walk, want to be a gangbanger, or say you gay, and you can instantly go from
Yeah.
non-popular to an accepted group
Yeah.
of people. And it's very easy. See, in order to be popular for the chess club, you got to learn how to play chess.
Yeah.
Or home ec, you got to do something. Anybody can say, hey child, and now you go from the kid that nobody likes, and now you over here sashaying doing the Beyonce, and everybody loves you now.
Yeah, but you know what they did back then? Look, another myth. Look here in the middle of us talking about a myth, another myth is put up.
What's that?
Michelle. You know, like no disrespect, Michelle, but they been putting it in the cartoons. Hell, Bugs Bunny was a whole cross dresser out here.
Yeah, and then fucking Elmer Fudd would be like, ooh. Motherfucker.
Yeah.
Even if he do look like a fucking female bunny rabbit to you, he's a fucking animal. You was just hunting this motherfucker to kill him. Now you want to fucking, they was doing zoology.
Yeah.
Bestiality back. I just said,
they had
I
that
just
shit.
said zoology.
It's okay, man. You know, it's okay. You're a school teacher.
But think about this. It's crazy because androgyny has always sold. Remember how Rick James and them used to dress? That shit was almost like saying, well, the bitch is gonna like you, and if you can appeal to both, it sells better. Even now, a lot of athletes and a lot of celebrities are going to that androgynous style. You know what I'm saying? Like,
hold on,
I'm the bitches love me, and I'm a sexy nigga, but you know, you never know.
Hey, Michelle, Bugs Bunny used to kiss everybody on the lips every time. I mean, it's not as prevalent as now. Then as it is now.
And some of it is now. We're adults looking at this shit like this. When we was kids, it worked on us. You can't say brainwashing works for a specific demographic. So when we was kids, it worked on us so well we couldn't see it. Now that we're older and it's not for us, like say for example, when you go back and look at Menace to Society, tough gangster movie. I suck your dick for a king, Ragga. Why you had to say that? Now, when we was young, that was a move of our generation. We ain't looking at it like that. But now we can see it clearly.
I don't know. We had a crackhead in our neighborhood. They used to call that motherfucker BJ.
But why you had to?
I'm just saying though. But I mean, like when I'm looking at Menace to Society, I
know what you mean. I just feel like they always do their gay shit in there.
To me, that was like some real shit because we knew male crackheads.
Yeah, we'll do gay shit.
So I mean, like it was kind of more so on.
Let me ask you this: since you're saying this, I joke with Mike and Enzo all the time in the group. I said smoking crack and gayness is 1 and 1. If a man smoke crack, he'll do some gay shit.
Yeah, if a motherfucker on dope, a motherfucker gonna do some gay shit.
I'm telling you, that's what I believe. What I've seen,
and when I say that, I don't mean like the casual person that does drugs. I'm talking about a fiend, an actual fiend. Because whenever you want that high, you gonna do whatever you. That's how come I said we had a motherfucker in our neighborhood, dude.
I know, but
and the crazy, but you know what's
that in the movie.
But hold on,
that's what I'm saying.
But here's the crazy part, right? The crazy part was how all the dope boys know his nickname was BJ.
I guess he's ain't his
name. You know what I mean? Like everybody knew he was sucking dick for drugs.
Oh, blowjob. I ain't realized that's what you mean. I just thought the nigga name was BJ.
No. Dude was sucking dick for dope.
I have seen regular niggas that was construction workers with a woman and kids get on that dope, and then it be rumors that they doing gay shit. So I've always felt like if a nigga's smoking crack, he'll do anything. He'll do some gay shit, and it's always a gay motherfucker want a motherfucker to do some nasty shit. What you need?
Look at Jeffrey Dahmer.
What you need?
Hey, look at Jeffrey Dahmer. That motherfucker kept $5. It was $50 his whole life. He never spent that.
I never watched that shit.
No, I'm just saying, in real life, though. Think about it. In real life, he was telling these motherfuckers, I'm going to give you $50 just to take some pornographic pictures of you or to do some gay shit. And he kept that $50 the whole time because he killed a motherfucker.
Mm-hmm.
But motherfuckers was doing gay shit for $50. Like they was so fiend out. $50. They would do some
You know
shit.
what I realized, man? This is a since you said that, this is an unpopular opinion. My grandma used to say, ain't but two things open at certain hours. The devil's mind and legs, meaning somebody getting fucked or somebody out there trying to do some evil shit.
Yeah.
So I just feel like, man, like you said, with the Jeffrey Dahmer shit, he offered a motherfucker $50. You trying to go back to a nigga house and do some gay shit for $50 and end up getting killed. Meaning this is my point. And this is an unpopular opinion. And my wife is a rape victim, and she agrees with me. And you remember the woman that son had to shoot the guy for hitting her? I just don't feel like women and kids, and even myself, I don't do it as a man for my own protection.
Yeah.
Why the fuck is that woman at the fucking hot dog chicken wing spot at 11:30 at night with her kids?
I don't even know the exact time. I just knew it was dark outside.
Yeah.
I thought it was probably about like 7, 8 o'clock.
Nah, they said it was 11:30 when the shooting go down.
Maybe she was smoking some weed and she got hungry. She looked
No.
I know.
I get it. I know. I'm joking with you.
I know. I'm joking.
That's a good joke. But I'm like, bitch, you better fry some chicken at home, goddammit.
Yeah.
I'm just like, my wife said when somebody kidnapped her, she was getting home like 3 in the morning. Now, as a woman, 3 o'clock in the morning, trying to get into your apartment complex by yourself, you shouldn't be out that late.
Well, growing up, my dad used to say, if you out at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning or after 11 o'clock at night, you better be coming home from work.
Yeah.
If you out past that time or whatever, you out there doing something you ain't got no business doing, especially if you're a woman.
Yes, and I don't understand why people just don't. And that's a myth. This is one of the myths that people say. And I know women get mad and men get upset and about their kids. It's like predators know who to prey upon.
Mm-hmm.
Like lions don't go get the fastest, strongest, biggest buffalo. They be like, look at this motherfucker
we get the calf
over here by itself. Look, calf. So what I'm saying is predators know how to prey. And they look for certain things. They don't go out at 1 o'clock in the evening and say, I'm finna kidnap a motherfucker.
Yeah.
But we say in America, this is a myth that we say in black women and black men alike, even with our kids. I should be able to be out at 4 in the morning with my ass out if I want to. That don't get nobody the right to rape me. It doesn't. But that's the times, and you're the person that the rapist is looking for.
Right. Hey, look, this dude, I know he's like, this dude's a really intelligent dude, super smart, right? He came up with this game. It's called You Already Know.
Yeah. You remember that shit?
He was like, who the fuck is this nigga talking about? But nah, he came up. Yeah. So Javon came up with this game he tied Central called You Already Know. Because we was talking about police brutality. I think he was talking about police brutality and stuff.
Yeah.
He said, if you go out, he said, hey, y'all live in the project. He said, look, if you want to get some food stamps and somebody's selling them, how much you gonna pay for $100 worth of food stamps? And they said
50.
He said, you already know. He said, so you walking down the street at 2 o'clock in the morning, you see a nigga up against the wall with a hoodie on and his hands inside the hoodie. What you think he doing? What they say?
You already robbing.
He robbing somebody. You already know. So, ladies, if you out at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning by yourself, walking the mean streets of Raleigh, Durham, North Carolina, or Tuscaloosa, Alabama,
any fucking where,
anywhere on God's given earth, what do you think is more than likely going to happen to you?
And if I was to put your son beside some other sons, and I said, who is the police gonna accost? We already know they ain't fucking with your boy.
Right.
They gonna fuck with this other kid. And your son has a box haircut. He dresses regular kid. They looking for that motherfucker that's
extra.
That's trying to. The cops is like, oh, this boy right here, he got on a haircut with the parts in it. He got on the fake gold teeth, the gold earrings, the chain. He got on the $200 shoes. He may not be but 12, 13 years old.
Looking like a 20-year-old dope boy.
Yeah. And see, that's the thing. A white cop can't look at a boy and say, that boy ain't but 15. He said when he see them Jordans, he said, oh yeah, ain't no 12. He know he don't buy his 12-year-old son no goddamn
15. Well, they do, but here's the thing: it's not about the Jordans; it's about the attire.
Yeah,
It's about the
but Jordans
attire.
is part of it.
No, but I'm just
The
saying,
expensive shoes, the chain, the earrings.
But all these kids are wearing these expensive shoes now. But because back then we was growing up, white parents weren't buying their kids no motherfucking $100 shoes.
You look like $100 shoe,
right? You know what I'm saying? But if you look at it now, you got all these parents out here, especially single parent white mothers and stuff like that. They overcompensate for the lack of a father, so they're gonna get the kid whatever to make them feel happy. But they out here buying their kids expensive shoes. But it's the attire, right? So like when the police make an arrest, they create a profile. The majority of people they arrest for selling drugs or being here dress and look like this. So I see 14, 15-year-old kids walking around with dookie necklaces on. They might be fake. The cop don't know.
Or with the Pooh Shiesty mask on,
or
the hoodie in the middle of the summer.
Right.
Yeah.
So you already looking like you up to no fucking good.
And I used to tell my sons, don't wear your hoodies in certain places in certain times.
Right.
And people would be like, I'm like, no, this is around when Trayvon Martin got killed and black people was putting hoodies and Skittles up. And instead of we like, let them wear their hoodies. And I'm like, yeah, let them wear their hoodies.
But take that motherfucker off when you go in the store.
Take that motherfucker off before you go in the store. You know what I'm saying? That's where it's like what people don't understand. As a black man, we've been so single motherized. And I say that, and we've been so much fucking feminism. It's like, say, for example, back in the day, black folks taught their children, you cannot drink from this water fountain. You can't look white folks in the eye. This is what you have to do, how you have to behave to survive. Now we like, they should be able to wear Pooh Shiesty masks and hoodies. Who's to say because they look like a robber that they're going to rob somebody? You know what I'm saying?
Probably if we had our own water fountains now, we wouldn't be worrying about COVID. Probably was that too soon.
Put us in the back of the bus.
Put us in the back of the bus.
We volunteer the back of the bus and back of the
so
class
crazy
now.
Because we actually like getting on the bus. We go to the back of the bus.
Yeah,
we go to the back of the bus.
That's where the fun and shit at.
Yeah, that's why all the fun happened. That's where you play the dozens. If you can't play it, you sit your ass at the front.
So let's caveat big bone in this, because people in my family
they big boned it.
They say they run big, and I'm like, if they put your motherfucking ass in an X-ray, I guarantee your bones is not bigger than nobody else.
They might have some big bones. They might have a lot of calcium in it. Are they drinking cow milk?
From eating cows, not the milk. From eating, do you get milk from steak and pork chops? Get calcium out of pork chops and fucking chitlins and shit.
Big Mama, what's so crazy is how we glorify Big Mama.
Yeah.
Soul food. And that shit was the main reason Big Mama was in the hospital dying.
Yeah.
We glorify. And
Big Mama got to get her leg cut off from diabetes.
Yeah,
what we gonna eat?
You don't eat pig feet and fat back. And I'm like, no, I don't eat that shit. I don't eat slave food.
I used to eat that shit as a kid growing up.
Yeah.
Some of that shit was good, but as out of just respect for my own pockets right now, I'm like, listen, if I'm gonna spend some money, I damn sure ain't finna get no pig ears and no motherfucking pig feet.
Right. I mean, like, it's so crazy because slave food has been popularized in pop culture now. Like, you go, like, I went to this restaurant, and this white restaurant, and they were serving chitlins, and I'm like, the fuck? And like, when I tell white people I don't eat chitlins or I don't eat pork, they looking at me like I'm crazy, like I'm predisposition to like pork.
Well, look, watch this. This since we're doing this, I'm gonna throw a myth out there. Slave food and soul food. All the shit we call soul food is from other countries. Macaroni ain't that's from Italy. You know what I'm saying? And we don't realize fried chicken. Japan was frying chicken first.
Nah.
Go ahead.
My aunt's Korean, and we was just talking about fried food and shit like that. During the war, the soldiers was teaching them how to fry chicken and the Vietnamese how to fry chicken.
Our way, how we fry chicken.
Right. Everybody, yeah. I mean, like everybody.
But they was frying chicken.
not like we was frying chicken.
Yeah.
Not like, but then they put their little spin on it, their little twist on it. Just like when we go to South America and we show like the women down there, like they we got made or somebody's cooking for us.
Yeah, they got their own little spin.
They put their own little spin onto it.
But the point I'm making is, that the myth I'm saying, when I was in Japan, they sold chitlins and cow tongue, cow head and shit. That's they street food.
Yeah.
So when I got to talking to them, I was like, the ones that could really, I was like, this like slave food. And they kind of laughed. They was like, all poor people eat the entrails of animals.
I was getting ready to say that.
They was like, the way they broke it down to me was, if you're poor, you had to eat the inner entrails and sell the rest of the animal for money or for to trade. So they was like, they've been eating chitlins and shit over there for thousands of years. Chitlins, heart, liver, tongue. And as Black people, we like to say that we was the first ones to eat that shit, but we wasn't.
No, we wasn't. I mean, they've been eating that shit.
Yeah,
since
but
the
that's what I'm
beginning of
saying.
time. Yeah.
But Black people said we took the bad shit the master gave us, and no, that shit was every people. Actually, if you want to be technical, Black people in America are the last motherfuckers to eat the inner guts. They've been doing that shit for thousands of years.
It's not about eating the inner guts. It was how we.
Yeah, we put our swag,
it was our razzle dazzle.
Vinegar on it.
Don't take away. Hey, look, Javon. Hey, man. What I'm not gonna let you do is take away from our razzle dazzle.
Now listen, them Chinese motherfuckers and them Asians put some razzle dazzle on.
Yeah, but
what I'm saying is, what I'm trying to say is, we didn't invent eating fucking chitlins and fucking hog nuts and all that shit.
It's not that. It's just the combination that we put together.
Yeah,
that's what makes it the soul.
But they cook it their way too. They cook it in their own way too.
Yeah, but I'm saying though, what I mean is when we talk about soul food, it's the combination. Like you can have just black eyed peas, or you can just have chitlins, but it's the combination
when
that
you
makes
put them all together.
You put it all together the way that we dress up with cornbread, black eyed peas, macaroni and cheese, the fried chicken, the chitlins, and the barbecue ribs and stuff. You get a goddamn plate, and that motherfucker look like a mountain. So it's the combination that makes it the soul food, not the individual.
No, not at all.
Themselves.
But also you have to understand this. A lot of the stuff that we cook that wasn't chitlins and the entrails, the white man had to told his bitch, go in there and show Nanny Mae how I like this shit cooked. And then we put a spin on it too.
Right.
So a lot of the stuff that we learned how to cook as Blacks, as slaves conquered people, the white man showed the house nigga, this is how he liked potato salad.
And the house nigga said, "Nah,
I'm taking the raisins out of it, boss."
It look like little roaches.
Where's the goddamn raisins?
What's this red shit?
Boss, now I know I ain't supposed to be tasting food, but I'll let you whip me today. I tasted it with them raisins, and I took that shit out, boss.
Lord, but yeah, it's like
boss. I'm gonna tell you, boss. I put some Larry's on this chicken. Now you might not know who Larry's is.
He was a slave from down there on the Johnson plantation.
What he did was he found salt, garlic. He mashed a little garlic, salt, pepper, and put it all together. Boss, I shook some red. Black people gonna shake that red paprika on top of any chicken salad, macaroni salad,
and that shit ain't got
salad.
no taste whatsoever. Just give it a color.
And listen, I done been at a cookout. I might have asked you on the way and making potato salad, like, hey dog, can you bring some paprika? That shit, and I'm like, I ain't serving this shit without paprika. It's gotta have that red on the motherfucker.
I was like, you want me to bring some raisins too?
Yeah, but so a lot of the stuff we learned how to cook, the master's wife taught the slave how to cook it, and we put a little spin on it. We put salt and pepper in the shit.
Yeah, they were just throwing that bitch in the goddamn grease.
Just put the chicken in the flour
and throw it in the grease. It'll be good.
Flour, that's all you need. And the slave standing there like, just flour.
The motherfuckers ain't even taste the shit. They taste in their mouth like, this is what it tastes.
I don't think that's gonna be right with you. You better not put no salt on my husband's chicken. You don't know that causes high blood pressure.
He's like, Anime, can you put some more salt on this?
Can you put some gravy on it? I think we might have invented gravy.
I think, you know what? I be looking at Kentucky Fried Chicken. I'd be like, man, cut no sound on this guy. Oh boy, he ain't have to pay nobody for that shit.
Hey, look, so let me ask you
Popeyes.
this. When we talk about being big boned, right? Do you think it's just that, like you said, in soul food, they passing the same recipes down, eating the same way? The
Hot
highlight of
sauce.
our day, it's the highlight of the week is eating, getting together, the whole family eating and shit.
Think about it. Everybody said big bone, the fattest shit.
Not even big bone, also, but
heavy.
obesity runs in the family.
But yeah, so to make you feel better, about being overweight, they say you're big bone. They be like, oh, that girl big bone.
And look, I was always the kid that would get the shit slapped out of me. You know how they said, well, we big boned in the family. I'm the kid that said, well, why Aunt Patricia slim and skinny? You know, it's always one aunt that ain't fat like everybody else.
And everybody mad at you for bringing up.
Everybody mad at her because she the black sheep because she ain't fat.
She probably ain't married either.
Well, none of the women in my family married like that, but it's just the point of, everybody big boned. Well, Aunt Patricia's slim and with a nice shape and a six pack. Slap. She ain't daddy's real daughter. Motherfucker make up some shit.
Yeah, why you gotta say that?
She's sitting in the corner like, really?
Why you gotta remind me I ain't really a part of the family? I was adopted.
That's the shit the motherfucker say. I'm always the one that's trying to remind. When you know everybody drinking in our family, if you can't drink a lot, something wrong with you. And I'm like, Uncle Buck don't drink though.
I got another myth talking about that because you bringing up saying that they ain't the real daughter. The myth that black women back then, like this modern version of black women, they're saying that the women that used to stick by their husbands when their husbands would go out.
They was fucking around.
They was the mama was weak. They were like, oh, she was weak. That's why she stayed with him. And I'm like, how did you equate her being weak because she stayed? Like right now, it
takes strength to endure any relationship.
Exactly. And at the same time, right, where was she gonna go?
You know, my wife said some shit. You know, with her working now, it's amazing how she was saying we want to go out as women and get careers and be boss bitches and boss chicks, but we're lording and working for somebody else, and we may be making good money, but we're making them super rich, and we're doing that for their company. But we dropped the ball on raising our own children in our own house. You know what I'm saying? When you really think about it, it's like, as a woman, I'm not saying what a woman should do. I'm just saying what I believe. As a woman, most of your time and energy should go to your family and your husband. Like your mom didn't have to work. She put her energy into the family, right?
Yeah. So here's the question, right? Do you like to work?
I don't like to work.
Who likes to work?
No one.
So think about this, right? Women were sold a lie to go out here and be independent and work. And working is a great thing, and it's self-gratification, right? And these women went out here and they got these degrees or they got these jobs and they like, yeah, I'm working. And then all of a sudden, after about 10 years, 15 years, what they say?
They ain't getting paid the same.
I'm tired of working.
Yeah, I ain't getting paid the same.
Well, not just that. I'm tired.
Yeah.
I'm tired of working. Child, I wish I had a man to come and take care of all these bills for me. They want to trade their independence in for a husband and some kids.
Yeah, I remember it was an episode on I Love Lucy when, you know, she was a stay-at-home mom and she wanted to work so bad and got in the job, fucked the whole goddamn plan up. But I remember in history class in high school, I had a history teacher and he was talking about after during World War II, between World War I and World War II, and especially after World War II, during World War II, they had came out with that poster with the woman with a muscle out. And it was like, but it was like the reason they did that because so many men were at war, they needed women workers. So it was kind of like a propaganda. They didn't mean for that to continue. They meant for when the men come back, but it was like the women got a taste of of freedom, and a lot of mothers that won't marry got an opportunity to work.
The irony that you just said, they got a taste of freedom.
Yeah, that's what they look at it.
They got a taste of servitude, and they loved it.
They got a taste of the man not dousing the money to them. That's really what it boiled down.
That's what I'm saying. They got a taste of servitude, because guess what? If you go out here and you work in the job, right? I don't give a damn if you work for yourself. You got your own business. You're in the position of servitude.
And one thing that I also know, which is somewhat of a myth in being an entrepreneur and self-employed, when I was doing Grub's Kitchen, I worked harder for myself than I ever worked for somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
And that shit was hard. And I stopped. You see, I stopped.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I got pissed when he stopped too. I stopped. I almost didn't want to be his friend no more.
Man,
because I was getting that bang, bang chicken. It was banging, bang, bang.
I had a lot of people.
Pause.
I go to the barber shop now. No, we said pause when we've had to fuck something.
I was fucking that chicken.
You was pause. You was fucking that chicken up. But I remember I would go to different barber shops and niggas would be like, "This nigga." I was like, "What's good, brother? Man, you came up off the city." I said, "Bro, you don't know how much money I made. Man, I used to go by there. You was making money." And it's almost like, bro, I'm catering now. I'm making more money with less work. I'm not having to sell up. Niggas was mad. Oh, he on that vegan meal prep. Man, fuck that shit. I was like, God damn. Niggas will get upset when you do what you want to do, even if they don't want to do it. Yeah. I'm giving you a quick joke real quick. No one on this earth will talk about polygamy more than a woman that says that she would never do it.
Because she want to do it.
Exactly.
She just don't want. She just say she'll never do it for everybody else. She does it for the clickbait, for the likes. Yeah. They get on everything. When you see somebody getting online and they talking about, they hating on something or whatever,
they interested.
They interested. They want to do it.
Yeah,
they want to do it
because the interest, like in a bank, is vested interest. It accrues. So if you're interested, it's like when I see somebody say like and comment and Jesus will bless you. I'm not interested in that shit. Right. So I don't put invest my time in it. So I don't say, I don't say, man, this shit ain't gonna make Jesus bless you.
Right.
So if I said polygamy is a thing and somebody else say, no, or whatever lifestyle you into that you identify with, people will go against it. And even if they say they don't want to do it,
right.
And I'm like, how the fuck are you going against something you say you don't want to do?
Why you care? Why you care so much? Why are you putting so much energy to it? And Michelle, let me ask you, what do you do? Because you say you're self-employed and you work less and life is easier mentally. So let me ask you this: what is it that you're doing? And another question: are you married? Or are you single? But yeah, people put a lot of energy into stuff because they ain't got nothing else better to do. Idle mind.
Right now, we about to put up the link if anybody want to come in and speak on this subject.
Ain't that what they said? Idle mind's the devil's playground.
Yeah.
So when they sitting there scrolling through Facebook and social media and all this other stuff or whatever, right? They ain't got shit else to do.
Chiropractic massage.
Oh yeah. She.
Yeah, you chill.
You give a happy ending.
Stop.
I'm playing Michelle though. Like, I had to because
I love seeing a nigga skeet.
I be getting these people talking about I'm a masseuse. Would you like a massage, right? And I'm like, okay, like will you charge it? Like, I charge $150 or whatever for an hour, but then I give a happy end of $250.
Say, well, look, fuck the massage. Go straight to the happy end. Don't even hit me. I don't even want to hear the once upon a time. It's just like, grab the meat.
I just want to be Snow White at the end of a story.
I remember when you're looking at it, when we talking about myths in the Black community, this is just something silly. I just remember the Life commercial with was it Chex or Life cereal, and the little boy Mikey.
Mikey, they those Kicks.
Yeah, no, I think it was Chex.
No, Mikey was Kicks.
Or was it Life? Was the cereal called
Mikey?
Life?
But if you said Mikey, that was Kicks.
Now,
because they said Mikey eat anything.
No,
it wasn't Mikey eat anything. It was something else.
He won't eat it. He hates everything.
Yeah,
that's why they say he likes it.
Yeah,
he likes it. And I just remember in the Black community, I got slapped for that. I was over my aunt's house and we sitting there and we eating, and one of the kids didn't want their food, and I was a kid. I said, I'll eat it. They talking about, yeah, look at little Mikey. He wanted, he eat everything. And I said, no, Mikey don't like anything. And they was like, this boy, I always think he's smart, knows something. And you ain't had no Google or nothing to pull it up. I was like, no. He said he won't like it. He hates everything. That's why they say get excited when he eat it. They say he likes it. He like.
Yeah.
I sat there and explained to them.
You see, I caught myself when I was like, I knew it was something that I was saying that was wrong about
my
it.
aunt came up to me, slapped the shit out of me, and I'm sitting there knowing in my head, if I could go back in time, I'd Google that shit for her and knock her fucking ass.
Hey, look, you know what I've learned over time is that when people think they know something, but then they come across somebody that knows more than them about something, they don't like it.
Yeah. And I'd be like, if I think I know something and I come across somebody that I think know more than me, I start asking questions.
Yeah.
Because I want to know, like, oh, this motherfucker knows something. Where you find that out? Teach me something about it. But for the most part, we would rather be right than seek the truth.
Like with something that
and we rather be right than be happy.
Right. Like think about this, right? I remember I got kicked out of school. I got kicked out of class or whatever for some of this stuff that our teachers would teach us about Black history and all this stuff, right?
Yeah.
Because when we learned that shit in school, we learned it from contemporary whites, not from the Black experience or the Black perspective.
Yeah.
Even when you go to a HBCU, those books are written and created by white people,
folks,
right?
And the whole curriculum.
Right. So I always hear people saying, go to HBCU, you get the Black experience. I'm like, I lived in the Black community around Black people all my life. I got the experience. I done been harassed by the police. I've been harassed by white people. I've been harassed by Asians, Mexicans, and everybody else in this world. How Black of an experience can I get?
Yeah, it's a Black experience of college.
Right.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this, though, right? What are some things that you learned outside of school about just in general for Black people history?
Hold up, but not understanding the question.
So, we talk about Black myths, right? I remember growing up and, we always say nigga, 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 nigga. And they said, boy, don't use that word. That word was meant to keep us down and make us feel less than. And it was derogatory to derogatorize us, right? Then I was taught it meant ignorant. So I believed that shit for a long time. And I remember one time that I was out at the club and I was drunk as hell. I was fucked up. And the police called me ignorant. I said, oh, you trying to call me a nigga? Also, you trying to call me. So I'm getting into an argument with the fucking police about calling me ignorant because I was taught that the word.
That's what they said that taught to me too.
So I ended up going to jail that night over some silly shit because I was told a lie that I believe or whatever, right? So then so I got older and I started to research it. I understood that the word comes from Niger, Niger. That's what the Spaniards used, and the Portuguese used during the slave trade. The British couldn't speak Spanish, so they said nigger, and that's what it became. It was a descriptor. So we're having an emotional attachment to it, which I had to detach from that emotional detachment. So now, like when I say I'm a nigga, I understand that I'm saying it from the actual definition of what the word actually means. So that's what I'm saying. What are some things that you were taught something else that you was taught that you learned outside of the school system that you didn't know, that you believed for the longest time, that probably caused you issues or problems, maybe even psychological?
Even as an adult, I give you one, but I'm gonna give you younger at first. From the way I was taught history growing up, like the way it was framed for me, I thought the world consisted of the dinosaurs, the cavemen, the Bible days, Martin Luther King, civil rights, and now.
Yeah,
that's kind of how. And I think most Black people look at it. We don't like we literally look at, okay, so how was the beginning of the world? It was dinosaurs here. Then it was white cavemen. That's just setting my frame. White cavemen, and then it was the Bible days. Then Martin Luther King helped get us civil rights. That's kind of how I generally looked at the world until I got to college. And learned about the fucking Roman era, the Greco-Roman era, the Indo-China era, and and started learning, wow, these different religions are kind of saying the same thing. And oh shit, that was a lot of time. So Alexander the Great was on the earth before Jesus in the Bible days. I thought the Bible days was like right after the dinosaurs. Like I didn't realize all that fucking time between.
Yeah.
That's how we look at history.
Check this out, right? Check this out. So growing up in my household, it was different because we was, you know what I'm saying, like my stepdad and my father, they made us read books and, you know what I'm saying, like teaching us stuff, and my aunts and my uncles and my, you know what I'm saying, grandparents, they would teach us stuff that they wouldn't teach us in school, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, my son's here. So you got the other mic?
Yeah.
Aiden. Hold on. Oh shit. Aiden. So I want you to check this out, bro. Like it's
matter
crazy.
of fact, I'm gonna let him sit right here and I'll sit at the other mic.
He don't want to be on camera. He said he cool with his voice being heard.
Oh, okay.
But he's not like, you know, he's not one of those people that like to really be on camera. I told you, he don't have TikTok, Snapchat, none of that social media shit. So hold on. Let me get this real quick. Give me 1 second, y'all. Hey, y'all run through the likes, man. Share this shit.
Yeah, that was so amazing. I just thought that the Bible days was right after the dinosaurs, and that, man, I just had a warped view of the world globally, and
hey, come in here.
Yeah, a lot of that stuff was that I learned in school. I was like, wow. You can sit right here, little bro. You ain't gonna be on the camera.
Yeah, so
you sit in front of this mic right
here. Bring the chair over here. Bring the chair right here to that mic. You're not on the camera. Yeah, because he said he cool with his voice being heard, but you know, like when he turned 13, I started asking him, like, you know, when I used to post pictures and stuff.
Yeah.
I'd be like, hey man, you cool if I post this on social media or whatever? And if he said, yeah, I post it. If he didn't, I say no, because at 13, I treat him like an adult.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's kind of like being like a black bar mitzvah. Like you're a grown man. And the Bible even says that you're a man at the age of 13.
Yeah.
So that's how I treat them. So hey, look, scoot up, man. Scoot up to the microphone. Put the head.
Close enough.
If
I was close enough.
Yeah, you close.
We can hear him.
Close.
I can hear
you.
He acted like a man. He said, I ain't scooting up shit, nigga. I'm close enough. So he acted like a man right here.
All right. So being around, right? What are some things that you've learned from just being around me growing up?
Always have sex with protection unless I have the money to provide for the kids, just my family in general.
Right. So don't have sex until you're ready, and and if you do, have it protected until you either marry, find that woman that you can afford to take care of your responsibilities. Right.
Right.
What's some other things that I've taught you?
Go to the gym, workout for like self-improvements, to build body strength and to be all around healthy.
All right. What's some other things?
Be wary about who you're around. Be wary about the woman you're around. Be wary about if you're around strangers and who you help and all that.
All right. And so when you say about the women, right?
Right.
As far as relationships, what are the views on relationships and dealing with women?
Basically, if a woman starts yelling it at you and all that, don't try and argue back. There's nothing good that's gonna come out of that. If a woman starts swinging at you, just try and restrain her, walk away, or if she actually lays a hand on you, then you can call the police.
Right. So it's to protect yourself, right?
Right.
All right. What about as far as like what you're learning in school versus at home?
They don't teach me the same things about Black people in school. Well, just history in general. Like if I'm in school, I don't learn the same things about history than what actually happened.
And what are some other things that you've taken away as far as like, you know, having me involved in your life? Some other things that you see different with other kids or other young men around you?
I don't really get into any of that gang life. I don't get into any of that criminal stuff because I'm like I got my dad around. And I'm not saying you can't have a good life without your dad around. I'm saying it's like from what I've seen, people who do all this bad stuff is like they don't really have a man. And they're like, well, either that or they don't really act like a man. Like they get emotional way too easy and all this stuff. And what I think is in the and the reason why I think this happens is because they don't got a man in their life.
All right, now what was you singing in the bathroom? What rappers were you singing in the bathroom
Wu
yesterday?
Tang.
Wu-Tang, right? So you listen to rap music with profanity, drugs, sex, and explicit things. Does that make you want to go out and do it?
No,
Why not?
because I mean, like it's just a song. At the end of the day, I don't see what causes people to go out and do all this stuff. Because I mean, like at the end of the day, if you're not about that life, you're not about that life. I'm not about that life, so that's why I don't go out and do all that stuff.
I like that, little brace. Let me ask you a question before we get out of here. This right here is very heartwarming. This I almost want to cry. Just knowing. Like I said, I always knew my friends with fathers had level heads. They weren't troublemakers. They weren't braggarts. They didn't brag on their trophies.
He got a lot of them.
Before we get out of here, can you whoop this nigga ass? I'm just
Nah.
playing with you. No, this is gonna be a question that's gonna come out of left field for both of y'all. What do you think he could do that would make him a better father for you?
That's a hard question. I can't really think.
Yeah, I mean, if it may be so hard because you feel like he doing well and you might not can think of something. You know what I'm saying? So I know it's on the spot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give you some time. What do you think that you can do? Like, what do you think in your own self that you say this is where I want to tighten up at with my son, or I want to do this, or I wish I could do this a little bit more?
Well, that's what I do.
Mhm.
Like I self-evaluate. So like when he was younger, and I remember, you remember when you was younger, like I used to get mad because he's like 7 or 8, and certain things I'm thinking he should be able to do because I did it at
Like
7
what?
or 8.
A sport or use
like-
a hammer or what?
Yeah, just like, you know what I'm saying, figuring things out, right? I'm thinking like you should know how to do this, but then I realized like we're not being raised in the same thing, and I would get upset and I would just yell. But then I realized like, hold on, I'm yelling at a kid that he ain't got the same experience that I have,
And that he may have not been taught. Like when I was a kid,
right?
my uncle could tell me some shit like, "Pass me that wrench," and I give him the plow. That ain't no goddamn wrench. Motherfucker, ain't nobody taught me the difference. Or a motherfucker might be like, "Pass me that 7/16." I'm like, I don't fucking know that.
Right.
Yeah.
So remember we was riding one day. I think he was probably about like 8 or 9. We was riding one day and I said, you know what? I want to apologize for yelling at you about certain stuff.
I don't remember.
Yeah, you probably don't. You don't remember a
He
lot.
capping on camera. Son,
but nah,
son and told him,
but nah,
hey dad, don't try to make no bullshit up. You never.
I did. I did. Like, but it was just things that I just started to realize like he has to learn.
Mhm.
Like that's why I started doing the videos with showing him how to change oil and trying to show him how to change a tire and start to do more things and being more interactive and starting to teach him like, hey, you gotta figure this out. Like I can't figure it out for you. I can't teach it for you. I've never. How many times have I ever spanked you?
0.
He say 0, but it was 2 times.
Oh.
I didn't really spank him.
Yeah.
I hit him. I told you the one time when you used the bathroom and I spanked you on the ass with a towel. And the second time was my niece showed him how to tie a shoe. And when he found out how to tie a shoe, my niece came running in the living room and she's like, he know how to tie a shoe. You know how to tie a shoe, right? So I said, tie your shoe. And he started crying. I don't want to tie my shoe. I don't want to tie. And I smacked him upside the head. I said, boy, tie your damn shoe. And ever since then, he been tying the shoe. It's kind of like, oh, so if I know how to do something, then my daddy asked me to do it, and I don't do it. He gonna smack me upside the head or some shit. Okay, I need to just go ahead and show him, leave me the fuck alone.
Well, before we get out of here, I just want to say this, man. Shout out to both of you and your son. He's a fine young man. I think he's in early college, right?
Yeah.
So he's in early college.
What'd you get on this last report card? What was your grades?
I didn't get my report.
The thing that they sent.
Progress report?
Yeah, whatever that was.
I got 2 A's because I only got like 2 classes.
And what classes are those?
Biology and writing seminar.
All right, and then what was the other thing? The math thing.
Math. The math EOC.
Yeah, what was that math thing that you got an award for?
Even though the grades were curved, I got an A.
You got A in the math? Or
yeah,
whatever,
but
right?
I only got the A because the grades were curved.
And what do you plan on going to school for?
To be an aerospace engineer. Isn't that what they call the people who work on planes?
Yeah.
Aerospace engineer.
Oh, well, yeah.
And how old are you again?
15.
Yeah.
So, family, we gonna get out of here, man. But like I was saying, he took son on the trivia question show. It's just refreshing to see a well-behaved, mannerable young man who knows what he want to do with his life. And this man has been able to do it without cussing at his son, without trying to make him into a tough superstar football player or beating him. You know what I'm saying? So it just lets me know, man, we as men, we have to do better and we have to be a better example.
Mm-hmm.
Family, we appreciate y'all for tuning in, tapping in, and turning on. We're going to see y'all next Wednesday around the same time. When I said Wednesday.
See, because you don't know what day it is, motherfucker. You talking about me. You don't know what the day is.
That's because I had some reefer earlier.
Yo, it's okay.
Don't you ever smoke reefer?
Oh, look, I be messing with him. I'll be like, hey, man.
He said, I already do. He said, I already do. You hear him? He said, I already know.
We was at the race car place yesterday, and the woman gave us the little wristband. She said, "You know the rules on drinking, right? You can have 2 drinks after 2 drinks, we take your band off." I looked at them. I said, "Hey, don't drink too much,
Family, we love y'all. Y'all have a good
y'all
time.
Take it easy.
Yeah, appreciate that, love, man.